Alright. So, where did we leave off last time? Oh, right. We started, we left off with, under mods, where is it? Reference files, no, example canon, right. So we were having an issue. I figured out where the issue was. If you took a look at the, at the code before, there was this little part which had a pattern in it. I think I posted it in the modders channel. Anyway, so what was happening is that there was a C# syntax error there, so it was rendering the entire file ineffective and just making the entire mod just not recognizable for any scripts at all, which is why it just wasn't working in the first place. But I took out the pattern area, so it should no longer have that error. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like in game. Aw, defense left.
Rain, do you think I should make these thrusters bigger than standard?
Honestly, I think you should just make them standard size. I think you should make
Yeah,
them,
I'm thinking standard is probably a good move.
I think you should make one just like, the standard one. Maybe just like, 1x2, like one, just make them ion thruster size. So one small ion thruster and one large ion thruster, essentially.
They still have to have conveyors run to them, though.
There's an error loading the world. Why is there an error loading the world? Well, that's an interesting error I haven't seen in a while. Let's see.
Oh, wait, should I make them 1x2 and have them be conveyor junctions in and of themselves? So you can connect the thrusters together?
Not sure exactly what happened there. Let me go ahead and check this really quick. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, so it looks like all these mods are valid. Let's try running this again. See if it throws another error. Sorry about that.
And I think the other question is, should I make the big one 3x2 or 3x3?
Personally, I would say 3x2 since you're more closely mirroring an ion thruster that uses hydrogen rather than a hydrogen engine that uses power.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, there's an error loading the world. We'll check the log. Okay, I don't feel like we're dealing with this right now, so let's just go ahead and create a new game called Custom Game. Did I change something? That's super weird. It looks like I actually maybe I destroyed my Space Engineers files by accident. I might have. Manage, properties, local files, verify integrity of game files.
What'd you do, Rain?
I killed my SE, I think. Sorry about that. But anyways, while that's doing its thing, let's go ahead and take a look at the code really quick. So, if you guys remember, we were essentially making a flak battery. So if we take a look back at our thing, we can see that our shape is a sphere shape with diameter 50, so it'll detect objects that are at least 25 meters away. So it's basically like a flat can. I should probably make this a little bit bigger. Let's make this about 60, in fact. And then if we go down to area effects, you'll notice that instead of really having much base damage, it uses an area effect explosive of 500 damage. And for radius of 35, probably should increase up to 40 now it's like that. Anyways, so essentially what this will do is that it uses a sphere collision shape, and if it gets within the area of the sphere shape, it will explode with a larger area effect radius. So essentially, it works kind of like a flat can, but it does damage. In fact, I was testing this earlier, and it does quite a bit of damage. So that's a thing. Couple more things to take in mind. You have the damage scales. So in this case, you have you're able to set the type of damage. You can have bypass to bypass shields and EMP types. You can change it. You can have these kind of config settings for armor, non-armor. You can even have, if you have block IDs, you can take the subtype ID of the block and then, oh, X left. Anyways, so you can have
Probably disconnected.
Maybe. How's this thing doing? Almost done if number 1. But you can have like different subtypes. If you want to damage reactors, you'd have like large reactor acute block or something in there. And you could modify the amount of damage you do to it, which is nice. It's like if you wanted to have something that destroys reactors only, you could make everything 0 here, and then just turn this
Interesting.
to 100 or something for reactors. Objects hit. It's not really implemented very well, but it allows you to it's block penetration essentially. Let's see, trajectory, we went over this. Ammo graphics. I'm not really sure what this is here. I think it's like something for the model, if you have like a model for the ammo, but I'm not really sure. But I know that this is played when it hits something, so energy XP is like the thing that is currently used for the JDDs, where it has this little shockwave effect, and you can set the color and the scale, etc., etc. And then you also have the tracer material. This is what I'm actually using for the JDD, where you have the main tracer, which is just like a huge blob, and you have the trail that goes behind it. So, yeah. And then of course finally we also have our ammo audio, which is a particularly nice area. So typically what I end up doing is I would put things here, 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 and here for all the hit sounds, because I don't want to not play the hit sound sometimes. It's also important to make sure the hit play chance is 1, unless you have like a bunch of things hitting, in which case you might want to turn it down a little bit for the Gatling, for example. One file failed to validate will be reacquired. Looks like that was the issue. Pose. Alright. That we do. Yes, it did. And let's go ahead and try this again, shall we? No, I don't. Yeah. Do you guys have any more questions about the contents of these config files?
Not really.
Yeah, nothing specific. I think I just need some time to go through it and play
Once
around
I
with
start
it.
trying to make them work, I'll come to you if I have questions and if things work.
Okay. I should also
I think
probably...
mostly I need a project.
Please work, please work, please work, please work, please work. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Don't you give up on me. Come on. Come on, get. There we go. So, essentially what we have here is we have 2 things right here. Let me just take out this extra one on the side. So we only have 1 forward-facing battery. And then let me just turn this so it's doing toggle fire on. And as you can see, it's just using the JDD ammo.
That's a nice purple.
But anyways, what you'll notice here that if you shoot next, close to something, it's a little bit too far away.
Oh, it explodes like flak.
Yeah.
It detects the grid.
Yeah. So let's go ahead
Ooh,
and...
geez, that took out that shoot pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
It's a small
not
ship.
balanced.
I think it's a small ship. My sense scale's kind of whack.
That's light cruiser. It's a 3.5K blocks.
Okay, that's bigger than I thought.
Is the field? Do you play with a different field of view, Rain?
Let me see.
I play at 78.
I do feel like like the field of view just feels a little wrong.
You play at a smaller field of view than I do. I play at 78.
Like
yeah.
that?
It lets you see a bit more without making it too wonky.
I don't know what I usually play at.
As you can see, yeah, it's basically working like black.
Yeah, it looks nice.
So it's good. Yeah. Any questions?
Not really.
Yeah, nope.
Alright, so, well, I guess since you two are here, it's probably best to go ahead and move on to Torch development. So you guys have an option. Do you want to learn about Torch plugins again, or do you guys want to go over how to implement turrets in SCUT and what
Turrets.
Oh,
Turrets
yes.
and I think also bullet trail colors.
Bullet trails are basically just a toggle, right? Like, true.
Oh,
and,
okay. I guess I meant the just in general
I mean,
modeling the visualizations.
Well, the visualizations here are already pretty much taken care of. If you'll notice back in here, if we look at the graphics for this, wherever it went, like here, it actually has an area for a trail and tracer. So tracers, if you have like if you don't have anything, you just want this to be like the Gatling tracer, and then the trail is like the weapon trail if you want that kind of thing. So you can change the color, you can change the width, color fade, just makes it so it has the fading effect as it goes across rather than like a solid trail. Decay time for length of it. And you can also change the width here and color, and essentially what happens here is if you make the alpha lower, it increases the brightness. But if you make the alpha higher, it makes it more of a solid color, but it looks more solid rather than glowing.
It's just alpha is transparency, right? So it's like the opacity of it.
Yes, but that's just how it maps in the game. It's not really. It's not completely. I mean, it does behave like transparency, but just keep in mind that very low transparencies won't make something super transparent. It'll make something very glowy. What you have to do is you want to make something super transparent, decrease the colors all the way down. So like make this like 1, 1, 0, and then alpha of like 0.5 or something.
That makes sense. Okay, and then related to that, I guess the sound files. I had a question on that before.
Oh yeah, let's implement some sound files, shall we? Okay. So typically the way you implement a sound file is there's two things you have to do. First off, you have to create a audio SVC definition for any audio files you have, and then you have to put it into here using a subtype ID that's specified in the audio file.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and grab the JDD mod so I can copy and paste the audio stuff really quick.
I think what I'm going to try to do, Rain, as like my first project, is take the JDD mod and strip out all the JDD aspects of it and just make it a template. And then maybe I can ask you to look over it and see if it makes sense.
Sure. I would love to.
I'm going to make some thrusters.
Go ahead. But anyways, as you can see here, we have an audio file. I'm just going to copy all this stuff over to our example thing. Let's create a new file in here. Black canon underscore audio.svc. And then let's just paste this in here and make this into XML.
So this isn't Visual Studio, is it?
This is Visual Studio Code.
It's the more I don't know what's the difference, because
Visual Studio is more of an IDE, so it has a very it's a development environment, so it's usually for developing .NET applications and Windows applications. So it allows you to has a very complete debugger. It allows you to build things inside. You can do the same thing with Visual Studio, but you have to add extensions for it. The base idea of Visual Studio is just to have a very clean code editor for looking at code, rather than actually testing it.
Community is kind of just like PyCharm, more or less.
Kind of.
I am downloading it now.
But anyways, so yeah, you have a sound.svc, and you just have to, essentially what you do is you create a subtype ID, let's just call it black fire. And let me just go ahead and grab a random file from my computer. I've got some nice freeware stuff right here. Let's go ahead and grab, what is a good thing? Blaster. It's not very good, but oh well. I can probably change that later. Oops,
Where did you get that sound library? Is that your just personal library of sound?
I pulled it from an open source game. It's called Battleships Forever.
Do you have the link to that?
It's just the Pro Online.
It's just a what?
It's called Battleships Forever. And you
Battleship Scrubber?
Yeah.
Oh, Battleships Forever.
Have you seen this one before? It's actually a really good game.
No, I'm not.
But anyways, if you download it, and it's under Creative Commons, so you can make it and you can take things from it, but no derivative works. Let's see. Anyway, so if you go ahead and grab the audio files from that, you'll get a bunch of audio files, and that's where I'm getting all these audio files. Or
did you download like the installer, or did you download like the zip file?
I downloaded the zip file. But anyways, so I'm just going to take that audio file, I'm going to create a new folder called audio in here. Put my audio file right here, and then I'm going to go back to my code, and then there's a couple things to do. First off, you have to add in the actual file path. So let's go ahead and take this. This is audio / this. So that's good. Let's put that right there. And then next thing you have to look at is that there's a volume setting. This is a value between 0 and 1. So let's go ahead and make this 0.5, which is usually a good starter value. And finally, you have to define a subtype ID. I've already called this one Blackfire, but this is the name that you'll use inside your WeaponCore config to access it.
Okay.
So for this one, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go over to here. Let's go ahead and put this in the audio for the firing sound.
What is the difference between firing sound, audio sound for firing, firing sound per shot? If false, the audio for firing is then looped. Okay, so
yeah.
Okay, I think I understand that.
So typically you'll use firing sound per shot for non-defined duration beams. So like if you had like a beam that was heat mechanics and you wanted it to be like go on and go back off again, you would use firing sound per shot equals false. So it loops the beam fire audio.
Okay, I'll just have to play around with that one, but I'm not sure if I quite understand.
But anyways, now that I have this in here, this should probably work. Let's go ahead and try this really quick. Let me go switch my stream to look at SE so you guys can hear stuff. So we're back in. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Did you guys hear that?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I did.
What was that? Oh, it was the explosion. That's just a
Did you add an explosion sound?
No, that's a default explosion sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's nice. I like that.
Oh, that's pretty nice. Also makes it so it's easier to like hit things, which is nice.
One of my big complaints I think with weapons in the game is that they track too well. There's not much sense of like dodging.
So let's go ahead and
The hit scan weapons are very annoying.
Let's take a look at some options for rectifying that then, shall we?
Sure. I don't like that you can set beams to target thrusters and like completely mobility kill someone without like touching anything else.
You can
Yeah.
also adjust that too. So if you
I
look
know
first
there's
off here,
some
you
angle
can
deviation.
what you can do here is you can actually disable subsystem tracking, which might be a good thing for beams, and just put any
Yeah.
there. You can also geez, let me go close this really quick. I actually have this set up in Visual Studio, so I can show you a little bit more. It just helps. It so you can control click on things and see how it's defined. So if I go down here, and if we go back to Flat Cannon, and where's the subsystems, I can go over here and see that, okay, so we got block types. So you can choose any of these. So if we want to, what we could do is we could just make it only be able to target the subsystem of production and power, for example. And the way we would do that is take these two and then go over here and put them right here instead of any. Alternatively, for threats, we can also do the same thing. If we wanted to make something, for example, that only could target small grids, sorry, it can't do that, but like this. So you have those options. As for the original thing that Miss was talking about, you can also have minimum diameter and maximum diameter. That's cute. You could have that for large, big battleship guns, maybe.
So minimum diameter and maximum diameter are like the size of the threat themselves?
Yes. So minimum radius of threat to engage in meters. Probably defined in bounding sphere, D.
So basically, like the... Wait, I'm not quite sure I understand that. Is this for turrets specifically?
Yes, so if you have something that uses targeting, you can say, I don't want you to target anything smaller than, that has a radius of a bounding box smaller than 10 meters.
So there's like a reason to build a small ship. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm not sure if that's quite the solution though, because that's just like this gun is useless against a smaller ship. I'd rather it be like this gun is dodgeable.
True. So if we go down
Although
here,
if we make a turbo laser mod...
what we can do here is we can change the deviate shot angle.
Yup, and that'll make it spread. So like...
I think that's what you want.
Yeah, I think that's what I want as well, although we have to be careful about that because of the friendly fire issues that we were having.
I mean, yeah, but if you're gonna have a huge spraying weapons, I mean, what you could do is, like, honestly, at 5 degrees, it's already pretty spread out.
If you fly in front of your friendly ship that's lighting someone up, I think that's on you.
Well, no, my issue has been I've been docking ships at our shipyard, and whenever the fog comes, the MWI weapons have a targeting issue. MaxPex is aware of it. Like the first grid that it's targeting doesn't target properly. There's like a deviation from the targeting angle on actual fire. So it's taking aim, and then that aim is off by a certain amount. And so it thinks, okay, I can shoot. But then in reality, the actual bullet's hitting the grid, like the friendly grid.
I see. So maybe one thing about that might be the aiming tolerance. If it's really high, it might be trying to get close enough. But then if it says it's like 5 degrees, for example, it might say, oh, I'm close enough, so I'll just shoot. Is that what you're talking about? So maybe turning down aiming tolerance is a solution for that.
Yeah, and the other thing is I think he might have a custom targeting script for his weapons, though, that's not using MWI or WeaponCore framework. Not sure if that's even possible.
MWI, like MaxPex, has always been like problematic. It'd be nice if we could move away from it.
Yeah, I love his sound effects, and I love the actual like class of guns. So if we can make our own battleship cannons, I'm fine with that.
And then the bounding boxes will finally be accurate, so you can like shoot around them.
The thing is, I have a direct line with MaxPex. We can ask if he wouldn't mind us like editing or fixing up his mod. He's been too busy, I think, with his other mods.
Yeah, because he's been working on a new experimental thruster effects mod.
Yeah.
Okay. 114. 114.
114?
114
What's 114?
megapixels.
That's a lot of megapixel.
Megapixels?
Why do you have that many? What?
Wait, what are we talking about?
I just said a random number and you guys are all extrapolating on it.
I'm so
100.
confused. I feel like I missed something.
Okay, so you guys ready for turret design?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, no, but I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Goodness. Okay, so essentially what you do.
Actually, question.
Go ahead.
When you open Blender like this, are you just opening a saved project? Is it automatically set up for the
Yes,
SC
it is automatically
YouTube?
set up. I'm just opening up the base project general.
The what option?
File, new, general.
Okay. Perfect.
And
I'm
just
following
delete
along
the
on mine.
default hierarchy.
What did you just do?
I just so I had a bunch of things in here at first, so I just clicked on this collection, had everything in it, and then I deleted hierarchy because it's a hierarchy of things.
Ah, okay. Perfect.
Okay, so let's start out by here, Exonius, do you have Blender ready for this?
Do I have it prepared for like importing? No.
Okay. Oh well.
Dude.
So let's just go ahead and create anything. Let's just call this
I find this kind of ironic.
sample turret, or let's just call this laser turret. Let's just make a quick little laser turret, shall we? Very easy, quick and dirty. So let's go ahead and start out by going to our shaders. We're gonna just import the make sure we import the materials and the presets and the items and all that good stuff. Save.
How do you import the shaders?
You just go over to shading and you just go click over here and you press N. And
how come I don't see a Space Engineer's utility?
Did you install the plugin?
Oh, yep, here it is. Never mind. The tab was like hidden away. Okay, so you just picked all of these?
So just take you just need items, presets, and materials.
I don't have items.
What? Did you set up your plugin properly?
Maybe?
Here, why don't you show me your screen?
Okay, let's see.
What do you see there? What kind of material libraries do you see?
Armor, materials, items. Oh, I do have items. Never mind. Sorry. But they look different. The order is different on the icon.
Oh yeah, the order changes all the time. I don't know why.
Okay, so items, materials, and presets. You said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you just click it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, and then press just Control S just to save it.
Control S.
That just saves it. Okay, so if we go back here, you'll notice that if we press N again, and we can open up the SUT window on the right, and let's turn on the bounding box. So we got our bounding box.
Save Blender file. Alright, so back to layout. And bounding box on. I have a bounding box. It's 1 by 1 by 1.
Let's just keep it 1 by 1 by 1 for now. Let's make a puny little turret.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and start by modeling the main base
Body?
scene.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and let's do how do we do this? Let's do add mesh. I don't know, circle. Yeah. Let's add a circle. Take the circle. Let's shrink it down a little bit.
Did you do a mesh circle or just a circle?
Oh, I just did a. I went to add mesh circle.
Oh.
So let's just do step by step. So first up, let's add mesh circle, and we have add circle down here. You guys want to?
Wait, how did you get an add circle thing down there?
I'm sorry, what? Oh, so it'll look like this. You just have to press the little caret.
We don't have that.
Okay, it's probably because you clicked away from it when you made your circle. So try making a new circle.
Okay, add mesh circle. Oh, okay, I see it now. Oh man, UI is interesting. Okay.
So then we can just, okay, so 32 vertices is good. Radius, just take this down to 1.
Okay, radius 1.
And
Oh, that changed my view. Because I wasn't clicked in. Okay.
So yeah, and then once we got that, let's press enter, and we're good. Okay, so we got a circle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the x-axis. So I'm going to click on one of these, so we can go like this, and I'm going to move this down by pressing the move tool and then dragging on the z-axis, which is blue.
The move tool. Okay. Maybe.
And then we have a circle in the bottom of our bounding box.
Perfect.
No.
Does it snap to the bounding box?
Actually, I'm not sure. I've never tried. I'm sure it does, but honestly, I usually just kind of adjust it so it's close enough, honestly, and it's good.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So anyway, since once I'm here, I can, let's go ahead and make some edits to this base. Let's just go ahead and make this into a nice beveled cylinder really quick. So let's go ahead and select this object. Let's click on object mode and change it to edit mode.
Okay, now I can do the extrusions. Okay, perfect.
So let's go ahead and start out by first going to edge mode. So you can change what you can select up here. So you have vertices, edges, and faces. So you can shift select, so you can select multiple at a time, or you can only click on one and it'll only select that. So for here,
So
I'm going to select edges, and I'm going to select this entire thing. I'm going to press F. That'll create a face joining all the vertices.
So I somehow got it created a new plane.
It what?
It created a new plane for, I don't know how to explain it.
Can you show me your screen? I have no idea what you're saying.
One moment, please. So you're using the selection tool, and then you selected edges, right?
Yes. So I selected.
And then you just highlighted it. Nothing happened now, actually. What the heck?
So I just select this and then press F.
And then press what?
Press F.
Oh, okay. I didn't do the F part. There we go.
Great. Now the question: if I model in Blender without the plugins, and I get the plugins later, can I import it anyways?
Yes.
And convert?
Yes. Although the textures might not convert 100% well, but the model should be 100% fine.
Okay.
Okay, that worked. So I've got a turret base now. I extruded it out.
Right. Perfect. Okay, let's just go ahead and extrude it up a little bit. I want to select the face, and then let's extrude you a little bit. And then let's just go ahead and click this edge. If you want to select an edge loop, so this loop of edges, you can Alt-click, and I'll select that loop.
Alt-click. Oh my god, there's too many hotkeys.
I know, I'm sorry. You get used to them. And then let's just go ahead and click the bevel tool, and then just bevel it a little bit.
Here's a bevel tool, perfect. The bevel is, how is the bevel controlled?
You just click and drag, or if you want to, it'll pop up this window once you're done. You can make more fine-tuned ones. And you can select between vertices, which will bevel the vertices or the edges.
Okay.
And you can also make.
Is there a way to pan? Oh, there's a button. Oh, nope, that's not a button. Can I pan my view?
Shift middle mouse button.
Fascinating. Okay. Makes sense.
All right.
And then now the circle object I should probably rename, right?
Yeah, so let's just call this turn face.
How did you rename it?
You just click on it, or double click on it.
Okay. Turret base. Perfect.
And then finally, the big thing is to make sure this is inside the main
Main. Yeah.
collection.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
right. So now here comes the big part. So we are going to have to, let's just go ahead and actually build a really quick, let's just build the body and the barrel really quick. So we're just going to call this base, or laser turret base, and let's create a new scene up here. So new scene, new. Let's call this one laser turret body, for a little part that goes rotates on the what do you call it? The azimuth? No, it is the azimuth. And then we can go over here and we can have one for new. Just call this laser turret barrel. There we go. We got 3 scene collections. So you got that? You can select the ones by doing this.
Turret barrel and turret
Body. Doesn't really matter what you call them, as long as they're named something you can recognize.
So, do I have to save it, or do I just...
I'm sorry, what?
No, I think I got it. Turret base, turret, rotor, I guess I'll call it.
Sure.
Alright. How do I switch between those scenes?
Click this little icon to the left, and then you can switch.
Okay. Gotcha. So I'm noticing that I don't have the same kind of model, SEUT model hierarchy in the other scenes. Do I need that as well, or is it just...
You will need that. So what we can do is we go to another scene. Let's go ahead and go to the body scene. We can just click initialize SEUT scene, and it'll do it for you.
Okay, oh, I see. Gotcha.
Oh, right. So for the body, let's just make a nice little, just make a cylinder up and be lazy really quick. Let's just go ahead and, I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to go into the body. I'm going to add mesh cylinder. And then I'm going to decrease the radius a little bit and decrease the depth a little bit. Decrease the radius a little bit more, decrease the depth a little bit more. And then what I'm going to do on top is I'm just going to be even more lazy and not do anything and then call this a day.
Makes sense to me.
Now the big thing is that this thing will be mounted at the origin point. So what you want to do is you want to move this up so it's
Oh, I see. You want the base to be at the origin?
well, you want the origin point of the base to be at the where you want the thing to be mounted. So you want that. You see this little orange thing right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's the center. That's technically the origin of this particular mesh. So in this case, I want the origin to be at the very bottom, since this is going to be rotating on top of something.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah. So anyways, I have that right there.
Okay. Makes sense. I think I got it.
Then just make sure this is inside main laser turret body. And then we can go into barrel and let's just add mesh. I'm gonna add a what is this, a UV sphere mesh? Sure, why not? Just make this little puny thing like that. And then we can just go ahead and keep that a little bit less.
Using a sphere for the barrel?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make a sphere and then have something go onto it. Because this is going up, so I'm just gonna have this kind of look like a little thing and have a cylinder poking out of it for a barrel.
Aha, okay. Makes sense. Hey, Dark Star.
You here to watch me sweat? Okay. Anyways. Oh, I never initialized the SUT scene here, so I had to do that. So...
Oh, what did you have to do for the... Did you have to do anything special for the origin for this model?
Well, I think I'm okay having the origin right here, so I'm going to keep it right there.
Makes sense. I guess that makes sense for the mounting point for the barrel.
Yeah. So I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a little cylinder over here. I'm going to rotate it on the x-axis because the x-axis is red. Let's rotate it 90 degrees. And let's just take down the radius a bunch like that. And we can location y a little bit forward a little bit like that. And maybe turn down vertices to like 16 or something. And there we go. Little puny little laser turret. I mean, just inset this. So you can do is you can use the inset tool here and just inset a little bit. And then you can take this inset again, and then you can move the little inset in a little bit so you get that. So it's pretty.
So where was the inset tool again?
Oh, it's
That's
this
just
one
on
right here. Inset faces.
Okay, gotcha. So I have to go to object edit mode and then.
A good shortcut for edit mode is just to press tab, and it'll switch between edit and object mode.
Okay. So how did you select the face?
So you'll notice here you have different options. You can select faces, you can select edges, and you can select
yeah,
vertices.
okay, gotcha.
So I just selected the face.
I actually did something weird, I think, because my cylinder has decided to cut in half. And
If it's being weird, just delete it and make a new one. Honestly.
yeah, no, I got it. I fixed it.
Oh, right. So, okay, so we've got most of our main things. Now the big thing here is notice here how we have two different meshes. So the thing about SUTs is there can only be one parent mesh in here.
Yep.
Same thing as where we looked earlier. So what we can do is we can select this and we can select this, and then control click on the one that we want to use, or just make sure it's the last one selected. It has to be highlighted in lighter yellow rather than darker yellow, I think. And then I'm gonna right click parent object, and there we go. And now everything is under sphere. So now if we move this, everything will move with it too.
So you right clicked it and then did what to it?
So I right clicked and parent object.
Oh, are you right clicking on the object itself?
Honestly, it really doesn't matter as long as you have them selected and you're right clicking somewhere in this window.
I'm not getting a parent object option.
Try pressing Control P.
Control P. Make vertex parent?
Are you in object mode or edit mode?
I am in edit mode.
Okay, you have to be in object mode for this.
I can. Gotcha. Yep, there we go. Parent object.
Great. And just make sure that the sphere is the top object in the thing, because otherwise it'll try to rotate around this and it'll be weird.
Oh, okay. So I have to. Okay, I see this. So I can unlink that.
Yeah.
Nope. That just made my object disappear. I'll just undo that. Okay. So the last one selected is the one that's going to be the parent?
Yeah.
Okay. Object mode, parent, object. Nope, it still became the cylinder.
What? Okay, I try doing it backwards then. Sometimes it's weird. I don't know. Usually it works for me if I just... Let me try parent, clear parent. And then if I do this, then this, and then Control P and object. Oh yeah, it goes backwards. Okay, that's why.
Okay.
So it goes this, then this. So we have to control click that? No. This, and... There we go.
Yep, okay, the sphere is the parent now. Perfect.
There we go. Excellent. Alright, so next thing is we just have to add in a quick little dummy object to tell our barrel where to shoot from. So we just go in here. I'm going to just, actually let's just go back into object mode, just add, create empty, add dummy, or sorry, preset set part. And I think it's this one. No, it's not that one. I'm sorry. I'm being an idiot. Let's add, create empty, add dummy, and then muzzle projectile is usually a good one. And then
Right. Add. Where was that? Okay, so you're adding in the
Add, create empty, add dummy, and then missile projectile option here.
Oh, again, I was in the edit mode again. There we go. Create empty, add dummy, and then I can select missile projectile.
Yeah. And then
Or
once you
muzzle
have the dummy
projectile.
in, just move it so that way the cone is pointing away from where you. The way the cone points is the way it's going to fire. Then you also want to make it so it's this little point here is not intersecting with anything on your barrel. Just like right about there is good for me.
Makes sense. Actually, my inset disappeared, so I'll just have it appear from the edge there.
Oh well.
Sounds good. Do I have to link the muzzle projectile at all?
A link. Oh yeah, this has to be inside this. My bad. You are right. That needs to be linked. So the muzzle projectile needs to have the parent of this. So everything needs to be under the sphere. Ball rotator thing.
Wait, now I don't have a parent option again. There we go.
Alright.
That looks good.
Alright. Okay, let's go ahead and head over to the turned body really quick. And let's just go ahead and add in our subparts. So let's go ahead and say that this one's going to be of the missile turret variety, because we don't need a spinning barrel, so we don't need to go Gatling type on us. So let's go ahead and start by adding in that dummy. So we can add, create empty, and make sure you're in object mode for this. Add, create empty, add preset subpart, and we're going to want to add missile turret barrels, and just make sure it's subpart type index 1. So what this will do
is create empty preset subpart. Okay.
And what this will do is this will add in a subpart that allows you to mount the barrel to it. So first things first, we just want to make sure that this has a parent of this object, so everything is parented to one object.
Yep.
And quick, there we go. And second off, we're going to want to make sure that the origin of this empty is where we want our barrel to sit. So we're going to move this up a little bit so it's right here. I can use the snap tool up here, but it's probably just easiest for the point of this tutorial just to not use any complex tools. And just like barely make it right there, which is good enough. You guys here?
Yep.
Great.
Think I got it?
So once you have this in, you can just click on this. You can go over to this menu down here, and you can click on this little green object data properties tab. It looks like a three-dimensional axis set. And then we can just select the scene that we want this to reference to. So in this case, we want to add in the laser turret barrel. And you can't add it because it's of the main variety. So let's go ahead and go over to the laser turret barrel, and let's change this type to subpart, so it can be used as a subpart.
You want the barrel or the rotor? Or the body?
Well, technically the barrel has to be a subpart and the body has to be a subpart too, because they're all going to be mounted as subparts onto the main base, right?
Or... Yep, makes sense.
Alright, so now that we're there, this should show up in here, so we can add laser turret barrel and it'll pop in right there. And it'll be kind of okay.
First. Yeah,
just kind of sad a little bit. So I'm gonna bevel this a little bit right here because it looks kind of sad. There you go, it's a little bit better. It doesn't look so depressingly sad. Okay, now what? Well, let's add in the body to the base, shall we? So we can use Blender just killed. So save your work, everyone. So let's go back to Lisa Turret's base, and then we can just do the same thing where we can just go into object mode, make sure you're in object mode, add, create empty, preset subpart, and missile turret, base 1 here. And you can add that in and you've got that nice subpart right here. You can do the same thing, move it down to where you want it to be. Right about here is good. And then just click on this and change the subpart scene to a body, and you've got it right there and everything is happy.
So I've got an interesting situation where I've got my subpart, like the barrel. I was trying to move the spear and the cylinder together, and I just moved the spear, or the spear.
I'm sorry, what?
I was trying to move the barrel up a little bit, and for some reason it just moved the spear part and not the barrel and the spear.
Like that?
Yeah. So how do I move both? Do I just have to highlight both of them?
So what you should do is you should go back to your laser turret barrel and then actually move this part up in here a little bit. Well, let's see if that worked. It probably didn't. No, it did. Although it didn't, like...
Hardly moves at all, but yeah, okay, I see.
It's kind of working, but it's being weird. I don't know. Let's see what happened in the barrel. Huh.
No, it's hardly
Goodness.
moving at all, really, actually.
Oh, right. Okay. Jeez, I think that it's trying to reference from the origin point to this, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, control apply location? No. Oh, right. So if I move this up here, if I go back into base. Blender really doesn't like me today. Is my computer overheating? I don't think so. That should work. Honestly, just a lot of trial and error for me. Like, you'll notice here that this actually did work more properly, where I adjusted this up in edit mode, so it still has the origin down here.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like to me that I might just need to mate these two together, right?
Yeah, you could do that. If you want to do that, you could just click this and this in object mode and just Control J for control join. I'll do it for you.
Perfect. So then I should be able to move that.
Yeah.
In the base. Yep. Okay, but it didn't move. It didn't move the object, like the fire cone.
You know what? How about this? Let's take care of that later. It's kind of not
sense.
really important right now. I feel like I'm just missing something. I need to review my reference material. But let's go ahead and finish up this model really quick.
Yep.
Okay. So if we go in here, we can just go ahead and take the turret base, and we just need to make sure this subpart is just subparted to the turret base. So I'm gonna parent that really quick. And there we go. Everything is parented properly. If something's not updating right, usually just good to turn off and turn on like subpart instances really quick. And then yeah, so we have our basic turrets like that. Usually a good idea to add some shaders really quick too. So I'm gonna start out by clicking. If you look on here, you can change from wireframe to viewpoint shading to actually show textures, which is the third one over. So as you can see, everything's just showing up white. This is Blender's way of saying that nothing has a texture on it. So let's just go add some textures. So we can just do that by selecting a mesh and then going down here to material properties and changing it here. So I'm just going to search up colorable. It's this one, I think. And that just makes it colorable. So this is pretty much the default material for SE.
So I'm not seeing any. Or did you just add one manually? Okay. see.
Make sure that your shading here is checked, because if it's not checked here, it won't show up there.
Yeah, I've got a lot in the drop-down menu.
Oh yes, just
Yeah,
search
so
up the
drop-down.
colorable, or just pick one that looks decent.
Atlas color. I actually don't see a colorable.
Just search it up. Colorable, and it's the fourth one down.
Okay, yep, got it.
For whatever reason, the full name doesn't show, so you just have to kind of learn where they are, unfortunately.
Makes sense.
Another thing to note is that there's this thing called a UV map. So essentially what the UV map does is it's essentially a unwrapping of all the faces on a mesh and allows you to map where the texture goes. So typically what you would do is you would fine-tune that so everything looks perfect, but there's also just a smart tools that does it for you automatically, which is good for just mapping across very large objects. So typically what you're going to do is just select all, just press A and it'll select everything, and then press U and it'll go over here, and you can hit Smart UV Project.
Right, so you press the A and then press the U?
Yeah, so press A and then press U in edit mode.
Oh, in edit mode, okay.
Yeah.
The modes are really getting me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
That's
Smart
Smart
UV
Project.
And a good setting is just to uncheck stretch the UV bounds and turn up area weight to like 0.3 something.
Okay.
And if you click that, it'll automatically wrap the textures to the object.
How can I tell if the texture has been properly added?
Well, typically it'll show up so it looks halfway decent on here. So you can see it kind of has scratches as before it was kind of featureless like that.
Yeah. Maybe I didn't add it correctly on mine because I don't see that on mine.
Well, what do you see?
It's just gray.
Oh, it's because you don't have the texture mode on. You have to click this up here so you can view textures.
Ah. Yep. Okay, gotcha. Yep, that looks good.
Yeah. So anyways, if you want to take a look at the textures, just go over to UV editing, and if you go over here, it'll let you to view where the textures are. It's like here, this lets me say, oh look, I've got all these textures on here. Don't know why it's showing me it like this, but it hates me today for whatever reason. But as you can see,
I'm seeing the same thing.
It has all these things on here.
Okay.
It just shows you that the faces have been properly unwrapped and none of them are overlapping. If some of the faces are overlapping, it'll do some issues. So it's usually a good idea to make sure that all your faces have a UV map before you export the models. So let's just go ahead and do that really quick for everything. So I'm going to go over to body. I'm going to select this body here, select all faces. Let's do a Smart UV project, please, and then assign, I don't know, military metal scratched. Great. And we can go over here to barrel and select this and just A and U and Smart UV project. Okay, and chrome. No, chrome.
Whoa, what was that?
That was like a texture pack. Like there's a couple of things like a doodad pack which let you here, let me see if I can open up doodads. It's like they have things like this, and I think that was like decals is a much better example. There we go. So like, for example, decals lets you add some of these things on there, which is nice. Alright, so you got everything on here all textured up and everything is good? I'm gonna run and grab some water really quick, so BRB.
Roger.
Oh, that was good. It's getting parched. Let's see. Headphones. Can't hear any of you. Alright, so, Miss, did you manage to get all the textures in?
Sort of. I got one of them in, and then, my model's kind of broken at the moment, so I'm just mostly following along there.
Oh. Okay. Well, next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to mount point mode. I'm just going to change my mount points really quick. So we go mount point mode. We can just deter it, so I can just go ahead and delete.
How did you get to the mount point mode?
You just click it over here. You have to go to deterrent base, though.
Ah, okay.
Then I'm just going to go click on this, and I'm going to scale it a little bit. Anyways, while you're finishing that up, I'm going to go ahead and start prepping. Or actually, no, let's wait for a couple seconds just so you can get things going. A couple things, just talking while that's going on. So, a couple things to note, just that mount points is right here. If you want to export, this goes right here, and you can select the folder to export. You have the LOD distances, so if you have a level of detail model, you can select if it, what distance it's viewed at. You have, if you have LOD models, they go in here, so you just put all the models in there. If you have build states, they go in here. If you have a build state level of detail model, it goes here. And you have a collision model over here, which is something that is pretty easy to add. I can add it in right now, but by default, if you don't have anything in here, it'll just default to having a collision model of just the bounding box.
Collision model of just the bounding box? What does that mean?
So, if you have nothing defined, it'll just make the collision, it'll make the bounding box the collision model, so there'll be a 1 by 1 by 1 cube, if nothing else.
So basically anything that hits the bounding box will count as a collision?
Yes.
Okay.
If you, let me just add one in really quick. If I go to collision, if I wanted to add something, go to add mesh cube, and let me just scale this down really quick.
Can you add more than one collision box?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Have to make them.
So basically, if we want to reach out to MechSpecs and say, hey, can we add some collision boxes for the barrels?
Yeah. You could do that probably. It depends on him, obviously.
There's a reason you can't do that without a significant performance increase.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I mean, like right now though, like if you just go ahead and have like a convex hull, it shouldn't be that much of a difference versus a cube, right?
Yeah, you can make the main block occupy the whole space, but it's not going to when the barrels move up and down, or it's not going to be represented.
Yeah.
And that's just because the subparts aren't hooked into the physics system, and if you enable that, which you can, you're going to get a lot of weird behaviors, like when the barrels hit something, like the grid will start spinning, and it just gets weird. It gets weird. pretty quick.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Although I do remember seeing one tutorial where they used a circular collision mesh for that. And I think one of the things that might be a better way to do it is, instead of having a circular, I don't even know if you can do this, but is it legal to have elliptical convex holes, or is that just a very high performance impact?
No, I think it's fine as long as you're not trying to give the subparts collisions, because by default, the subparts have no collisions, or any moving part really. So you can do ellipsoid or curves or anything like that. It's a little more expensive, but the real issue is when things move and have physics.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Technically, I played with hacking it where you can only have players collide against it, but not other things, and that's not too bad. But again, it's not supported. We'll just say that.
Yeah, probably not worth it, I guess, either.
Yeah, the SE really just isn't set up for that. They have an older version of Havoc, and without their grids and stuff being aware that that's going on, it just keeps making it weird.
Alright, Mist, so did you manage to fix your issues with textures?
Oh no, my issue is not with the texture. It's my 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 subparts are not quite what you'd want.
Oh. Well, okay. Let me just go and finish the tutorial really quick, and then we can do debug afterwards. Or...
Yeah, I probably don't need to do the debug. It's fine. I think I know what I have to do. It's just that it's. I was trying to keep up with you, and I made it kind of messy. So.
Oh, it's fair. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else we have to do for this? No.
Conveyor port? If it's I guess it's an energy weapon.
I guess you could if you really want to, but we went over that in the last one, so I think we can skip it.
Yep, makes sense.
I think. Okay, great. So let's just go ahead and let me just go ahead and grab the folder path, since it's going to be in a weird place and players don't like having that kind of stuff for me. Go mods here. Let's click here. Let's go over here. Go to folder. Control V. Oh, sorry, I have to go here and let's create a new file called laser. That's right. Don't know why I put an underscore there, but let's call a models folder inside there. And since there's a path inside there, we can export to that point. Or since it has a model. So for example, if I try to just put it right here, it'll throw an error. Let me show that to you again. SE modeling. Oh, went all the way back. If I try to export just into laser turret, it'll throw an error saying error, export path, blah blah blah, does not contain models, cannot be transformed to relative path. That just means you have to have a models directory somewhere in your relative path.
Makes sense. Although I don't know why there wouldn't be just code to, create a directory if it doesn't exist.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think they just did that just so that way you can be reminded to put all the models inside a models folder, just so you don't kind of forget.
Yeah, makes sense. So one question I do have as you're exporting this, once you have like a base model like this and you want to go back and add more detail, does it make sense to, I guess, when you add the detail, do you add it on this kind of base scene that you have where all the parts are there, or do you have to add details to each individual subpart scene?
Usually what I end up doing is I just go and edit it in each subscene here, but honestly I'm not really sure if you can edit in here. I'm pretty sure you can, but honestly I've been too scared to try. And
Gotcha.
Darkstar, do you have any experience in that? Or, okay. Right. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And now that all this is good, we can make sure delete temp files and throw our SPC out is good. So we want to export all scenes. So let's do that. 3, 2, 1, pray. And come on, work. And 1 out of 3 scenes successfully exported. Do you know why that was?
Oh, there's an icon render mode.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can put out a tutorial on how to use that later.
Yep, roger.
Anyway, so essentially the reason why I didn't export is because you have to have this export path for all of your subscenes.
Oh, you have to. Okay, I see. Oh, it does. So it doesn't. Well, so if you have the subscene set up properly, you can just export all scenes at once.
Yeah. And then it exports 2 out of 3 scenes. Okay. Why do you hate me? Okay. Scene action is not possible. Okay, let's go ahead and check. So we got laser turn body looks good, laser current barrel. Oh, that's why. Because this is not in the same thing. I have to make sure this is parented. I'm sorry. Let's parent that really quick. Parent object looks good. Let's come back over here, laser turn, and export all scenes again. And 3 out of 3 scenes successfully exported. Excellent. Let's go back into our mods. You can look in here. Let's open this with code. And let's go, shall we?
Perfect. So it automatically generated your SPC file for the block type.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh no. Okay, so you got all this?
I think from here it's basically the first tutorial video, right?
Yeah, essentially. Here, let me just go ahead and do this as fast as possible, and then I'll stop when it's going to, when we're gonna have a difference. Okay? Let me just stop recording for, yeah, let's keep on recording, I can edit it later. Okay, let's just, let's create a new folder called, data. Let's put the SPC in here. Let's go ahead and, yes please, I want to move it. Let's rename it using QBlock convention underscore QBlocks. Just to make it so it's pretty obvious one Earth is in here. Let's take out this underscore because that's ugly. Let's add a new file called laser turret control A control C underscore weapons dot SBC, enter, and new file called EU underscore ammo. And
I would recommend once we get that template folder set up, Rain, in the repo, we can just copy and paste over the templates.
oh yeah. Yeah, we should definitely do that ASAP.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to work on that maybe tomorrow.
Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and try getting this thing set up. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste a bunch of stuff from here. So we've got QBlocks. Let's go ahead and grab the on-cam stuff from here. So I don't need audio. I want to grab QBlocks. Here, let's go grab the definition. Definition control C. Definition, go enter. Control P. Okay. So we got this definition. Let's go ahead and just copy stuff over here. So subs up against going to be laser turned underscore QBlock. And then display name on can, description files. Okay, I'll just call this and then some say pew lasers, and then we can go ahead and say, okay, so we got nothing here. It'll just throw a empty thing, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and see. We have. Let's go ahead and let's copy all this over, and it's gonna be the same size. Model X, let's change this really quick, and then we got model is going to be this, then use model intersection true, please. And then we're going to want to grab the components and all of this here. The mount points are being replaced here. And then build progress models are not implemented yet. And then block pair name is right above us. Build time's good. Weapon definition ID. We can call this laser volumes. Keep that. Good. Okay. And great. So that's cube blocks. Let's go and delete the initial definition. Confirm. All systems go and delete. Good. Ampersand. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one called weapons. SBC control Control C. Control V.
In C#, or actually, this is XML. Never mind.
Yeah. What about it?
I was going to ask if there's a way to do sections. But I don't think that doesn't map over properly, I think.
I'm pretty sure you... Yeah, I mean, usually what I end up doing is you just end up making comments for sections. You can minimize these things like that. So you can have multiple things like that with comments telling you where a section starts and ends. That's how Keen does it too. Anyways, let's go and just call this.
Comment XML is a pound sign?
What?
What's the comment demarcation for XML again?
Jeez. It's not gonna let me do this. There we go.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so just gonna find that. That's good. Okay, 2 is good. And then the big thing here is to note is that the capacity. Oh, we're not even going to use these for WC, so we don't have to care about them. Anyway, so we have to go here. We have to make sure we grab the magazine, subtype IDs, go over to weapons, go over here, make sure that this is being copied over into here, and this needs to go right here. That's good. And anything else we need? No. Other than audio, we are good. Let's go ahead and add a new.
So all the kind of vanilla tags that you have there that are not being used or overloaded by WeaponCore, do you still need to have the tags present, or can you just remove them?
Honestly, I have not tried removing them, but I'm pretty sure you can. We should probably take a look at that when we make the template design.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's see. So scripts open threads, go and create a new file called mast.config.cs. Honestly, let's just go ahead and be lazy really quick and just go over to here and just do a bunch of copy and pastes, if you know what I mean. Bit of snip. So let's go and call this. Okay. So here's the big hard parts about this. Let's go and call this. Let's copy this over to master config really quick. And right here. So here's the part that took me a couple of minutes to figure out. So first off, we need to make sure setup ID is the same one as in cube blocks. Go over here, copy this setup ID right here over to here, and there we go. Now for here, we can just ignore the import ID. This is obsolete according to the WeaponCore docs. And then let's see. See if I can remember how these work. Let me go ahead and load up the documentation. Actually, I should probably show you guys the documentation. So WeaponCore has a nice wiki. It's this one. Put this in voice chat. has a bunch of stuff in it. I'm going to look at this assignments under sorter. And let's just go and take a look at this. So we have elevation priority that rotates up and down, azimuth priority rotates left and right, and muscle priority that contains all the muscle empties. So if you look back in Blender, the elevation or the azimuth ID is referring to this this thing here, which is the subpart here that allows as attaching this onto this. So essentially, the name of this, or in this case, missile turret base 1, minus a subpart underscore, is what we want for azimuth part ID. So that's where we're going to get that. This is for azimuth part ID. For elevation part ID, we're going to take a look back in here. Let me just delete these real quick so it's not very confusing. And we're going to take a look at this right here. And we can see that this one here, let's go ahead and go over to body so we actually see it properly. So if we go over here, this is the part that's rotating up and down, right? So let's go and take a look at what that's called. This is called this one right here. And if we go back over here, this will go on our elevation part ID. Also, because this part ID contains this barrel, and because this barrel has all the muscles on it, we're going to also call this the muscle part ID as well. So, yeah. Finally, we're going to want to put this thing in here. So let's go over here, make sure that, come on, you can do it. It's a good baby. We can take that, grab this, grab the entire thing, just no subpart on there, and just place it right there. And there you go. Boom. Boom. Alrighty. Let's see. Only targeting grids. No subsystems. Yeah, so let's go ahead and give this a target range. I don't know, let's just keep it under at 1 kilometer. Hard point. Let's call this laser. Blah blah blah. No, it's good. That's good. That's good. We don't want any UIs. AI is all enabled. Let's keep this all default. So big thing here, min max, we want this to be able to rotate 180 degrees or 360 degrees. So let's keep this like this. This is good. We have this here. So min elevation, just keep this at 0 and keep max elevation because it's a ball turn at 90. This is a good one right here. Fixed offset, no inventory required. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory stuff. Don't need any of this. Rate of fire is going to be beam, so it has to be 3600. Let's keep reload time at 240 and no delay until fire. And I need more water. That's some good water. Don't have any audio files here. More graphics for now. And then let's go over to ammos. So I got this. Let's go over here. Let's call this
Alright, Rain, unfortunately I'm gonna have to drop off for now.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
But thanks so much for the tutorial and looking forward to getting into it.
You are welcome. And I will be posting this video once I am done. I already posted the first one on videos. And yeah.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay.
Hey.
See you, everyone.
Okay.
See ya, Mr.
Oh, hello, Bee. How are you doing?
Killer?
Yeah.
I am still trying to figure out how to Blender, so.
Oh, I had myself muted. Nice.
Oh.
Big stoinks. But I'm doing good. I ate a
That's
bunch
good.
of pizza rolls.
I think this is about good right now. I can just use this default and call it a day. I just have to take out audio because I don't have any audios here. Big things to note, if it's a beam, it has to be You have to enable beams here because obviously it's a beam. No area effect here. Let's take this off. Just keep this at -1F, not -10F. Now let's just keep this all at 1F and 1F and 1F and 1F, and that's all good. You can turn on. So this is all good. Pattern, don't need to worry about that right now. Shrapnel, don't need to worry about that. Objects hit, don't need to worry. Line shape is good. This is good. Trajectory, okay, so we made the turret thing 1000 to make the max trajectory, I don't know, like 1050 F, so it can go a little bit past. And then also max trajectory time gives it that nice little go out time. I use this on the Ion, and the Atlas uses this too, but let's just turn this off for now. It's a little tiny thing, don't need it. No smarts, no mines. Here I have the EXP Spark, and I have it colored. And then let's just go ahead and change the, what is it called? Goodness, I can't remember, is it? I have to keep it default. I don't feel like changing colors right now. Sorry, what?
What?
Anyways, so the graphics are being taken from Ion, so we can probably just keep that there, just to make sure that all this is good, which it is. So we can just keep this like this for now. So great, we've got everything going. It should be all good. And who's ready to watch me debug this thing for 15 minutes because I forgot to add a semicolon somewhere? I swear I'm gonna turn into who do you call that person from The Expanse who has the really raspy voice? The senator person?
Oh, then the Star Wars? The
In
Senator?
from The Expanse. Oh goodness, what's her name? Some
Vance.
she's like
Or
the
like
Earth
the
person.
president or the of Earth.
It kind of, yeah.
I don't remember.
I swear I'm gonna turn into her with the voice. If I keep on talking like this, I swear I can feel it. It's fine. Okay, let's just add in that mod. It's local mod, so we can do this stuff. Hi, PJ.
Good evening.
Just finishing up a tutorial on implementing turrets in WC. So here we go. And let's see if this works.
I am late, but I'm just here to make sure everything is in order.
Everything is in order. Oh dear. What was this?
Everything is no longer in order.
What is
Just
this? A
raid.
party? Guys, we talked about this. No raids.
We're not raiding. We're literally like doing nothing.
Clyde, have you put in an attack notice for joining this channel?
I mean, do you want DCAM to start the attack notice train again? Last time we did that, we got yelled at pretty hard, and X left.
I could use the drama.
Okay, so there we go. We've got this here. Let's go see if it works. It's got no icon. Everything's doing well.
Pew pew.
I know. No icon makes it super hard to control. What was it? Control mode. Manual. There we go. Turret.
Or does it look cooler than my weapon already?
And there you go. That's turret from start to finish. Phew.
Pew pew.
But yeah, I
That should be the turret that has the mouth sounds or whatever.
Totally. So, yeah. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. So thank you for coming to Tutorial Dark Star, and thanks for listening in.
Knowledge.
I'll stop recording.